and the local trade expected to maintain its upward trajectory today after yesterday's highs. Now, the rand gained the most in 2 months on Thursday, while the JSE tracked firmer the global markets after another positive inflation report from the US. The independent market analyst, Karl Gevers, joining us now for a quick markets update. Karl, good morning to you, and I must state it very clearly from the start of our conversation that we might be interrupted by that Bloemfontein court, but let's quickly head straight into it. Give us your quick overview of how the markets are faring in early trade after the JSE tracking firmer global markets yesterday.
Yeah, good morning, Koli. I'll try and keep it short. This morning the market's continuing on the positive note. We saw Asia, a very nice day, a very green day there, and that again after the monetary authority in Singapore leaving their policy rates unchanged. So again, possibly indicating the end of a hiking cycle, and the CPI number in the US also bringing that positive momentum to the market with the hopes of possibly only one more hike in May.
Yeah.
So currently the local bourse is up, or the JSE All Share up about 1/3%. And as you mentioned, the rand significantly stronger. And again, that's on the back of a weaker dollar, trading just over 18 to the US dollar.
Let's launch straight into company news. Avenge shares crashing after the construction and engineering group reporting problems with a project being undertaken by its Australian subsidiary. This is McConnell Dowell. What's happening there?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what's happened to WBHO and Marion Roberts, problems in the Australian subsidiary there. So if you look at the market cap of Avenge, currently 1.5 billion, they were hit by a 500 million guarantee call from a project in Thailand, an LNG project where there are significant delays. So you can imagine 500 million on their market cap. So yesterday the share tanking at about 20%. So that guarantee is effectively a performance bond. So if they don't perform on the project, the client can pull that money. And while they can afford it in terms of their cash position, at the moment it does indicate potential problems further down the line, and obviously they will be loss-making in the current period. So again, just highlighting the risk of these construction companies, very thin margins, and then obviously they bear the brunt if they don't perform.
Let's talk PSG Consult. It plans to use its more than 2 billion rand to buy back more shares. Talk us through the rationale of that decision.
Yeah, so despite having very marginal earnings growth, headline earnings up 5% off a high base, they do have a very strong balance sheet, strong capital ratios, no debt. So in terms of capital optimization, they will continue their high dividend payout ratio, and then with any excess cash, they said they'll prefer buying back shares instead of focusing on acquisitions. So they'll stick to their steady organic growth and continue growing that way instead of trying to apply that excess cash to acquisition. So buying back shares is their strategy.
Yeah, let's conclude the conversation with KPMG LLP, which has been fined $1.56 million by the UK audit watchdog, and this is over the errors apparently it made in its work on the pronunciation here, you're going to have to help me. It's, Luchecho PLC books back in 2016. Help us make sense of those developments.
Yeah, I think your pronunciation sounds correct. I would have almost said Luchecho. But it's a lighting and wiring company listed in London. And yeah, similar to a lot of the cases where we've seen irregularities where the regulators looked at audit firms and coming with fines. This is another one. So the fine was £1.25 million, but it has been discounted to 875,000 after admissions of the guilt in terms of the breaches that in terms of audit procedures. And there was also an employee that was fined £35,000 for his role and admissions for that. So the company is still listed, but obviously there were irregularities that the auditors didn't pick up due to not having the right procedures. So just highlighting that they are under pressure, and hopefully for shareholders and stakeholders that situation improves.
Karl Gevers, truly appreciate your time, sir. Independent markets analyst there, giving us a sense of the goings on at the JSE.